Good day everyone, we are the group 3 and today we will discuss the chapter 4 or the unit 4. So, introduction. Mobile technology has not only transformed communication but has revolutionized various industries such as healthcare, finance, and entertainment. The hardware components of mobile technology encompass the physical elements of mobile devices including processors, memory, and storage, while the software aspects involve operating systems, application, and user interface. This integration of hardware and software has led to the development of innovative features such as augmented reality, artificial intelligence, and advanced security protocols further enhancing the capabilities of mobile communication. So, ano nga ba ibig sabihin nun? So, ang mobile technology ay hindi lamang about communication. Nag-revolutionize din po ito sa iba't ibang industry tulad ng healthcare, finance, and entertainment. At ang hardware component of mobile technology naman ay nag-compass ito ng physical elements of meron siyang mobile devices including processors, memories, and storage, while the storage aspects involve operating system. At yun. So, next slide is, ano ba ang ating learning outcome? So, at the end of the unit, the student should be able to give different events in the evolution of cellular phones, differentiate hardware and software, enumerate example of hardware, software, and mobile phones. So, the learning content is all about evolution of cellular phones, hardware, and software. So, evolution of cellular phones. So, first, syempre, meron tayong first generation, ang 1G. So, sa 1G, meron tayong basic voice service. So, yun yung tawag-tawag lang, ganun. Then, analog-based protocols. Ito na yung mga, familiar po ba kayo dun sa analog ng or speedometer ng motor? Parang ganun po siya, yung mga font niya. Then, sa second generation naman, nagkaroon na ng design for voice, improved coverage, and capacity. And first digital standard GSM and CDMA. So, ano nga ba meaning ng GSM? So, ang GSM ay, it stands for Global System for Mobile Communication. At ang CDMA naman ay Code Division Multiple Access. Sila po ay two major standards for mobile communication. Magkaiba ng technology, features, at global availability. So, GSM overview. GSM is a digital mobile communication standard used to send and receive voice and data signals over a network. So, when we say GSM po, ginagamitan po natin siya ng internet para sa digital mobile communication. So, sa ganun po, makaka-receive na tayo ng voice data signals gamit ang internet. Then, ano nga ba yung advantage ng GSM? Inexpensive devices. GSM, syempre mura lang siya, affordable. At alam nyo naman yun, cellphone, madaling mahanap. Ayan. Kahit saan, nakakabili tayo. Or makakakita tayo ng mga nagtitinda, ganun. Yun. Tapos, spectrum efficiency. Enhanced spectrum efficiency is achieved. Next is quality. GSM provides excellent quality for voice and data signals. So, ito, hindi na siya yung paputol-putol most of the time. Parang ganun. At, syempre, compatible din siya sa Integrated Services Digital Network. Kaya lang, meron siyang disadvantage. Bandwidth issue. Multiple users sharing the same bandwidth can cause delays and interface issues. So, ito na. Example na lang nito yung pag nasa school tayo, syempre, pag maraming student ang gumagamit ng kanilang cellphone, at sabay-sabay yun nag-open ng data, or maraming nag-open ng mobile data, ito po ay bumabagal kasi po naghahati-hati nga po. And isa rin po sa disadvantage nito ay ang interference. GSM may interfere with device like hearing aids, leading to restriction in places like hospital and airports. Tapos, syempre, yung coverage. Ang installing repeaters is necessary to improve coverage. Data rate. GSM has a low data rate capacity requiring sophisticated devices for high data rates. So, sa CDMA naman, ito ay radio telecommunication standard based on spread spectrum technology. It combines each user signal with a unique broadcast code, transmitting the signal in a wider bandwidth than the original data signal. CDMA offers increased capacity, improved call quality, better security, and resistance to interference. So, ano ba ang advantage ng CDMA? CDMA makes effective use of a fixed frequency spectrum, unlimited users. So, yun. Tapos, resource distribution. CDMA offers adaptable resource distribution. And roaming, of course. CDMA works with other cellular technologies allowing nationwide roaming. So, ito naman, pangmaramihang user talaga siya. Itong CDMA. So, opposite po sila. Si CDMA ay pangmaramihan at si GSM naman ay limited lang. So, pumili na lang kayo doon sa dalawang yun kung ano yung mas preferred nyo. Chok lang. So, next, third generation, which is the 3G, designed for voice with some data consideration, multimedia, text, internet, first mobile broadband. So, dito na guys, napapadalas na yung pag-load, ganyan. Parang dito na nag-start mag-boom si Facebook nung time na to kasi nga mas pinadali na yung mga tao ay capable ng makapag-access sa mga multimedia platform. Ayun. Then, sa fourth generation, which is the 4G, foldable phones and innovative designs. So, naalala nyo ba si Samsung na yung foldable phone nila? Hindi ko lang maalala yung pangalan nun, pero yun. Isa yun sa mga device na nagawa nung meron ng 4G. Yun ay dahil sa pagiging innovative ng mga tao. Siyempre, camera innovations, yung mga camera ay gumanda pa lalo. Dito na rin nag-start yung integration of AI and smart features.
So, hello guys. So, my topic is 5G more than just faster internet. So, what is 5G more than just faster internet? So, 5G speeds are 10 times faster than those offered by 4G and 3G networks, meaning activities like downloading a large file or backing up data to the cloud will take less than a second rather than minutes. So, in 5G, it's the fifth generation of cellular network technology which mobile operators began deploying worldwide in 2019. So, the successor to 4G is based on 5G on standards defined by the International Telecommunication Union or ITU. So, under the IMT 2020 requirements, which outline performance targets for speed, latency, and connectivity to support advanced use cases. So, here's the 6 types of industries on the brink of transformation. So, 1 is healthcare revolution, and 2 is smart cities and transportation, and 3rd is education, reimagining and enhanced entertainment, future-proofing for the IoT, and lastly, unleashing the full potential. So, 5G is more than just fast internet. It's a transformative force that touches every aspects of our lives. Its speed and stability make it a game changer for industries, healthcare, transportation, and education. The entertainment landscape is shifting towards immersive experiences, and the IoT is expanding all thanks to the power of 5G. In this digital revolution, companies like Webcastle Media play a crucial role, ensuring that the potential of 5G is fully realized. So, without making waves, but be quietly enabling the future. As we move forward, we can expect 5G to continuing shaping our world in ways we haven't imagined yet. So, nextly is here's the fourth type of 5G. So one is massive IoT connectivity, second mission critical applications, and third is enhanced mobile experience, and lastly energy efficiency and sustainability. So one is what is massive IoT connectivity? So massive IoT connectivity refers to the connection of hundreds of billions of low-cost, narrow bandwidth devices that infrequently send or receive small volumes of data. These devices can be situated in challenging radio conditions requiring extreme coverage and may rely solely on battery power supply. The primary goal for these applications is to efficiently transmit and consume small amounts of data from vast numbers of devices. So that is massive IoT connectivity. So next is what is mission critical application? So a mission critical application is a type of software programs or suite or related programs that must continuously operate in order for a business or segment of a business to be successful. So, for example, for an ambulance company, an automatic vehicle locator application might be considered a mission critical. So, a system or application is considered mission critical if loss or unavailability might cause risk to human or research animal life or safely significant negative impact in the university, research, teaching, and learning, administrative or healthcare missions, significant legal, regulatory, financial, or reputational costs, or serious independent on-campus unit carrying out its critical business functions within the first 48 hours following an event. So, lastly is what is enhanced ID third. The third is enhanced mobile experience. So, here's the enhanced mobile technology. The mobile revolution. So, for example, the shaping customer behavior and business strategy, guys. So, mobile computing has transformed how we do business. Is increasing numbers of consumers embrace mobiles apps, or our new research demonstrates just how ingrained smartphone use is in consumers' daily lives. A total of 96% of respondents say they own a smartphone, up from 94% last year. So, mobile phones are now the preferred device for browsing shopping websites like Shopee, Amazon, etc. So, making online purchases, online searches, banking, and playing games. So, as customers turn to their smartphones to complete their daily tasks, organizations are shifting resources to mobile apps and mobile optimized web experience. So, this is the example. This is the four examples. So, one is personalization. Tailor the app experience to individual users' preferences to increase satisfaction and loyalty. And nextly is content. Ensures the app content is relevant, engaging, and easily accessible. And third is notifications. Use notification strategically to enhance user engagement. So, the fourth is multimodal innovation. So, leverage emerging technologies to stay ahead of changing customer preferences. So, here's the example of personalization. So, for example, the highlights. 69% of customers are more likely to purchase from brand that personal experience. For example, the Oxygen are 60% our customer are want to buy these clothes. Yeah. And next, the content strategy. So, short form content thrives on mobile platforms where users seek quick, easy to consume information. So, successful mobile content strategy hinges on understand user behaviors and preferences. This knowledge helps organization decide which content is best suited for mobile versus other platforms. So that is enhance mobile experience. Then lastly is energy sustainability efficiency. So achieving sustainability with energy efficiency in 5G network. So as traffic demands continue to surge, the idea of deploying 5G in the same way its previous generations become progressively unlikely. Not only would it mean in a dramatic increase in energy consumption of mobile networks, it will also negatively impact the environment. An innovative and sustainable approach is needed to break the energy curve. So breaking the energy curve, can we deploy 5G and break the increased energy consumption curve of mobile networks? The short answer is yes. But it all depends on our ways of working to think smarter and in a more strategic way. In Spain, the focus of the joint test pilot has been on energy efficiency features for radio access in several clusters, which include Talavera 5G City, where 5G non-standalone in NSA is being trialed using Ericsson's 5G equipment. These tests have provided excellent results, which reach up to 23% energy saving in these network clusters. Based on these results, the energy efficiency features have been generally deployed in Telefonica Spain's commercial network. So that is the example of energy sustainability and efficiency. So here's the journey of 1G to 5G. So the journey from 1G to 5G has been a thrilling one of transforming mobile communication from basic voice calls to a powerful ecosystem of connectivity and innovation. Each generation brought unique features and capability that shape how we interact with mobile technology. So while 5G ended offered faster internet speeds, it represents so much more, promising a future where technology enhances our lives in ways we could only dream of before. As the 5G continues to expand its reach, we can anticipate a more interconnected, immersive, and efficient world that will unlock the tremendous possibilities. So that's we all the 5G more than just faster than internet. The nextly is computer hardware and software. So the next topic is computer hardware and software. So first is computer hardware basics. So what is the computer hardware? So hardware refers to the physical components of computer. Computer hardware is any parts of the computer that we can touch. These parts. These are the primary electronic devices used to build up to the computer. Examples of hardware in a computer are the processor, memory devices, monitor, printer, keyboard, mouse, and central processing unit or CPU. Different types of hardware. So the input devices. Input devices are those devices through which users enter data and information into the computer or simply user interact with the computer. Example of input device are keyboard, mouse, scanner, and the printer, etc. And the output devices. Output devices are devices that are used to show the result of the task performed by the user. Example of the output devices are monitors, printers, speakers, etc. So storage devices. Storage devices are the devices that are used for storing data, and they are also known as secondary storage data. Examples of storage device are CDs, DVDs, hard disks, etc. International, and lastly is international component. International component consists of important hardware devices present in the system. Example of internal components are the CPU, motherboard, etc. So the nextly is, what is computer software? Software is a collection of instructions, procedures, and documentations, and performs different tasks and a computer system. We can say also computer software is a programming code executed on the computer processor. The code can be machine level code or code written for an operating system like binary code. Examples of software are MS Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Google Chrome, Photoshop, MySQL, etc. Different types of computer software. The system software. So, system software is a component of a computer software that directly operates with computer hardware, which has the work to control the computer's internal functioning, and also takes the responsibility of controlling hardware devices such as printers, storage devices, etc. Types of system software include operating system, language, processor, and device drivers. And lastly is application software. Application software is the software that works the basic operations of the computer. It performs a specific task for users. Application software includes word processor, spreadsheets, etc. Types of application software include general purpose of software, customized software, etc. So this is a difference between hardware and software. So the basic definition is of hardware. Hardware is a physical part of the computer that causes the processing of the data, and the basic definition of software is a set of instructions that tells the computer exactly what to do. And nextly is development of hardware. It is manufactured. And next is development of software. It is developed and engineered. So dependency of hardware cannot perform any task without software, and dependency the software cannot be executed without hardware. And next is process of creating of hardware. Electronic and other materials are used to create hardware. Process of creating of software created by utilizing a computer language to write instructions. And tangible of hardware. Hardware is a tangible as hardware is a physical electronic device that can be touched. Tangible of software is intangible, as we can see and also use the software but can't touch them. The durability hardware typically wears but out over time. Durability of the software does not wear out with time. However, it may contain flaws or glitches. And types of hardware. It has four main of categories: the input devices, output devices, storage devices, and internal components. So, and types of software is mainly divided into two. So, one is system software and two is application software. So, virus effect. Virus effect of hardware is not affected by computer viruses. So, virus effect of software is affected by the computer viruses. So, and next is transfer. Transfer, it cannot be transferred from the one place to another electrically through the network. So, and transfer for software. So, transfer software, it can be transferred via as network means. So, that is all, and thank you. That's all.
Reynalyn B. Legaspi. Internal hardware refers to the computer's physical computer and collect and store instructions from applications or operating system. Example nito is yung CPU, RAM, storage device, and powerful supply, etc. So they work together to enable the computer to perform tasks. Next is the computer software basics. Computer software. Software is a set of computer programs that instruct computers what to do. So my main types of software is yung una is the application software and system software. So application software is designed to perform specific tasks or provide service to users. So example nito is yung information management and word processing, and such a communication is like Zoom, etc. So system software is the system software includes the programs that are dedicated to managing the computers itself, such as the operating system, and allowing the user to interact with the hardware and use various applications and programs. So example nito is yung mga Windows and Linux. Next is the operating system are the most important type of system software, as they provide the foundational framework for all other software and applications to run on the computer. So, operating system, it manages all the other applications program is in the computer.
What is device driver? Device driver is a software program that is designed to control a particular hardware device that is attached to a computer. So, for example, USB. So, ayun nga, nasasaksak siya sa ating computer. Yun is hardware siya na pwede na magagamit siya sa software program that is designed. Parang na-design siya for the software. Okay, let's move on to the utility software. Utility software is a type of system software that helps set up, analyze, configure, strengthen, maintain a computer, and perform a very specific task. Like example, antivirus software, backup software, memory tester, screensaver. So, itong utility software, ito yung mga apps or mga na nagagamit sa software. Like, ito nga yung example niya, yung antivirus software, backup software, memory tester, screensaver. Hardware. So, what is hardware? It represents the physical components of a computer such as the processor, memory, storage, and input-output device. So, ito nga yung hardware. Ito yung physical components. Ito yung nakikita natin, nahahawakan natin. Ganon. So, can be touched and physically interacted with. Ano nga ba ang software? Software refers to any program or set of instruction that run on a computer. So, ang software, ito naman yung mga hindi natin nakikita, hindi natin nahawakan, pero nasa loob siya ng ating hardware. Kumbaga, nasa loob siya ng ating computer, nasa loob siya ng ating printer, scanner, ganon. Example nito is web browser, spreadsheet, games, operating system, and antivirus application. Yun nga. Yung computer mo may have both hardware and software components. Example ng mga hardware, the number one is the CPU. Ito yung katabi ng ating desktop or computer na sinasabi nilang siya ang pinaka-central, parang brain of the computer siya. Ganon. So, ito ang nagpapagana sa ating mga sa ating desktop, ganon. Memory. So, lahat naman tayo alam natin kung ano ibig sabihin ng memory, or meron na tayong idea about memory. So, dito nag-i-store ng mga data, information, mga pictures, videos, movies, ganyan. So, may iba't ibang uri ng klase ng memory. Ito yung mga hard drive, flash drive, USB drive, ganyan. Motherboards. Ito yung nagko-connect sa lahat ng iba't ibang components sa ating computer. So, ito yung makikita natin na merong mga pinagsasalpakan ng mga USB, ng mga connectors, ganyan, ng mga socket. So, number 4 is the hard drive. Ito nga yung sinasabi ko na para siyang kakambal siya ng memory. So, ito, katulad siya na nakapag-store ng files, music, pictures, videos, and other digital content. Ito yung mga nagko-connect via USB, firewire, monitor. monitors display image on a screen. So, ito yung screen natin sa desktop or sa laptop natin. Ito yung nakikita natin. The last one of the example of hardware is the power supply. Power supplies convert electricity from AC outlets to DC voltage that run the computer. So, ito yung kung maririnig man natin yung CPU natin, maririnig nyo meron siyang parang LEC ng electric fan na maliit na maingay dun sa loob. Yun yung nagko-connect dun sa, yun yung power supply niya. Yun yung nagsisilbing power supply niya. So, let's move on to the examples of software. Software is there are many different software ranging from simple application to complex system. Some common examples of software include operating system, productivity suites, games, and media players. So, operating system is the most basic type of software. So, ito, from the word operating system, ito yung nag-ooperate sa ating hardware natin and software resources natin. Ganon. It's manage the software and hardware resources natin. So, the productivity suites are collections of software applications that improve productivity such as word processor, spreadsheet, and presentation software. So, ito yung mga, yung WPS, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, ganyan. Ito naman sa, doon naman tayo sa games, are type of software. So, from the word games, ito yung mga apps natin na nalalaro natin sa loob ng ating computer na naka-download sa ating software. So, the media players are software application used for playing audio and video files. Ganon din siya sa games. Ito yung nakalagay na dati sa ating mga laptop or ating mga desktop na pinagpapanoodan natin ng mga video na na-download natin.
Hello guys, good morning. I am John Ruel P. Tumbaga, and today I will discuss to you computer hardware and software. Hardware, any physical device, equipment used in or with a computer system. Anything you can see and touch, yung hardware daw, ito yung nakikita at nahawakan mo. That is what we call a hardware. External hardware. External hardware, devices, peripherals, any hardware device that is located outside the computer. Ito yung mga nakikita mo outside the computer. Like keyboard, ganun, mouse. External hardware devices or peripherals are devices that connect to the outside of a computer to enhance its functionality, so they can be input devices, output devices, or both. So, kapag daw, yung yung external devices, peripherals are devices to connect outside, ito yung kinoconnect mo para ma-enhance yung functionality para mas lalo siyang mag-function. Pwede mong pwede yung keyboard, yun, mouse, speaker, para mas madali siyang function, para magamit mo siya ng maayos. Input device, a piece of hardware which is used to enter information to a computer for processing. In computing, an input device is a piece of equipment used to provide data and central signals to an information processing system such as computer of information appliances. So, ito yung example ng input devices. Ito yung keyboard, scanner, mouse, cameras, joystick, and microphone. Ito naman yung output device, a piece of hardware device that can receive information from a computer. An output device is a piece of computer hardware that receives data from computer and convert it into a form that human can read. Ito yung hindi kayang basahin ng tao, kaya kino-convert ng computer para mabasa. Ito yung example of output device: monitor, printer, scanner, speaker, display screen, tablet, and smartphone. Computer hardware and software. Hardware, any physical device, equipment used in or a computer system. Anything you can see and touch. Yung yung computer hardware is ito yung mga nakikita at nahawakan mo. Ito yung tinatawag nila na hardware. Example, keyboard, yun. Basta lahat ng nakikita at nahawakan mo, hardware yun. External hardware devices, peripherals, any hardware device that is located outside the computer. From the word outside, ito yung mga nasa loob ng computer. Ganun. Tapos yung external naman, external hardware devices or peripherals are devices that connect to the outside of a computer to enhance its functionality. They can be input devices or pwede ring output devices or pwede ring both. Pwedeng pareho. Input device, a piece of hardware which is used to enter information to a computer for processing. In computing, an input device is a piece of equipment used to provide data and control signals to an information processing system such as computer of information appliances. So, this is the example of input devices, including keyboards, scanner, cameras, joystick, and microphones. So, madami pa ang iba. Tapos, ito naman yung example ng output device. A piece of hardware device that can receive information. An output device is a piece of computer hardware that receives data from computer and converts it into a form that human can read. So, yung mga hindi daw kayang basahin ng tao, kayang basahin ng computer, ganun. Niya, parang kino-convert niya para mabasa ng tao. Example of output device, ito yung mga monitor, printer, scanner, speaker, display screen tulad ng cellphone at tablet.
And that's it for today's video, and we hope you guys learned a lot regarding on the topic we covered. Thank you.